Oh, that's hot. It's clear that we're on Earth, probably at some point, thousands, tens of thousands of years in the future. All the civilizations we come across harken back to civilizations we've seen here in Earth's history. The gladiatorial Roman Empire in the form of Septimont, the Renaissance in Venice in the form of Ragusa, and many, many more. Now, you could say this is just convenience for the devs. It means they don't have to write an entire civilization from scratch. More importantly, you might say it's a convenience for the player. It gives them instant familiarity, an instant hook, some grounding, some understanding, without the need of some massive info dump every time they wander into a new civilization. If that was the only case, you could at least hide it a little, set it on planet Echo, orbiting the Kondakan star. Instead, what we have is the third planet orbiting a star called Sol. Sol, that's the name of our star, the Sun. Third rock from the Sun, planet Earth. Well, now we're going to turn to Camellya once again. She wasn't in the last few videos and insists on being in this one, and there's some people you just don't say no to. Anyway, here's another part from one of our character stories. This one's called Once Upon a Time, put a pin in that, and we see Camellya crouched on a rooftop, looking down on a street bustling with cars and people. Doesn't sound like a city we've seen, and it does comment later that it was going to be destroyed in a lament. But here we see that she is idly humming, absent-mindedly humming a tune to herself, one that she picked up from Rover when she was stalking Rover in order to eliminate her. She must have overheard Rover humming or singing this. Man, I wish we had a place where Camellya was humming a tune so we might know what this was. I do. And there is a point where she hums a tune and it always makes me think of a particular piece of music. Let's go and see if we can find that. Yeah, it makes me think of the... Nah, I must be wrong. No, but it is. Well, we're going to have to find out. So I went and looked up the score for the background arrangement of horns at the start of this particular song. And that gives us the notes D, D, C sharp, D, B. Alrighty, let's grab Camellya's humming and drop it into Cubase, convert audio to MIDI, and let's have a look at the notes. G, G, F sharp, G, E. So those aren't the same notes, but they are the same intervals between the notes. Just means that this arrangement is in a different key. Well, start spreading the news, I guess, because I'll be leaving today. I want to be a part of that. Also notice that Camellya's humming this tune at the kind of point that might make you think of it, overlooking a city with bustling cars and people. So it seems that Rover must have known the context for this song too. And that raises the question, before the self-induced memory wipe, how did Rover know a song by old Blue Eyes? Maybe some timey-wimey stuff. We've seen that in the game. Something from some noir that's meant to capture the dreams of everyone who's ever lived on the planet. Perhaps some sonosphere. Or maybe digging through the ruins, the Rover came across some old recordings, old discs, whatever. So that's all intriguing, but there was a couple of other smaller things that tie into this. Remember I said to put a pin in the fact that it was called Once Upon a Time? Well, there were several films called Once Upon a Time in New York. And Once Upon a Time, that sounds like, a fairy tale. Well, there's that very famous song, Fairy Tale of New York, by Kirsty MacColl and the Pogues. And lastly, let's scroll all the way to the bottom of this story. She leaped from the building, her vines weaving through the city's structures. Maybe it's just me, but that sounds a lot like your friendly neighborhood man with arachnid powers. And his friendly neighborhood was New York. Hey, Editon Kushi here in the cold, hard light of the next morning. This part I don't think is relevant, but it is fun, and I realized I wanted to drop it in. Way back in the original Highlander movie, the very song is in that movie with part of the soundtrack performed by the band Queen. And that movie is about a set of immortals who battle it out in the final battle between two of them. It takes place in New York between the bad guy, the Kurgan, and the good guy, Connor McLeod. Actually, up on the Silver Cup sign, which I could see from a hotel one time I stayed in New York. Anyway, so perhaps the reason that Rover knows the song is that Connor McLeod passed it on to them. Okay, back to our originally scheduled programming. So that wraps it up for this one. Let me know in the comments. Do you think I've finally gone off the deep end in this one and turned into some crazed conspiracy theorist? Or do you see the musical similarities here? I'll see you next time.